Jaden Show, and here's your host, Jaden Cornelious. It's Sunday. Welcome to my show, everybody. I hope you have had a wonderful week. It feels like ages since I've seen you, but I'm pleased you're here with me now because I've got a wonderful show for you today. I'm going all the way to Bristol, UK to meet singer, musician, songwriter, in fact, multi-award winning singer, songwriter, musician, the amazing Danny McMahon. He is going to wow you with his vocal talents, with his amazing writing, and he's actually a really super lovely guy, so I'm really looking forward to introducing him to you. Let's not chat with him yet. I feel the need for a bit of music. Let's go and watch When I See You by Danny McMahon.
I'm staring at my bedroom wall, where I got the call the day there would be no more days. When something inside me said nothing would ever be the same. Can we go back to yesterday? So much I want to say that I couldn't tell you back when. I wasn't strong enough, I couldn't show my love then. When I see you, we'll light up the stars in the sky, and I'll show you the things that I've done with my time. It's the moving on the waiting to see them again. Nothing but killing time, never knowing when it's gonna end. Just know I might talk to you, I'd rather walk with you. I miss your laugh and your smile. Give anything to hear you talk for a while. When I see you, we'll light up the stars in the sky, and I'll show you the things that I've done with my time. When I see you, I tell you my
Amazing, such a beautiful, beautiful song. Let's go meet the man himself, this week's very special guest, Danny McMahon. Danny McMahon, all the way from Bristol, UK, I believe.
Yes, correct, man. Thank you for having me on. It's great fun.
Whereabouts in Bristol?
I'm from a place called Bishopston, which is sort of like North Bristol originally.
Okay. I was a checkout manager for Tesco's in Bradley Stoke.
Oh wow! Okay, I know Bradley Stoke very well. I lived in Frenchay for a bit. So
really?
That's mad. Yeah.
No, and I was moved from there to Nailsea. Then I went more down Somerset way.
Beautiful down there, my dear.
It is great. It's great, lush. But no, it was lovely. I did enjoy my time in Bristol. So, how's it going? I mean, your music is played everywhere. Thousands of views on your YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
How did it all start, dude? Was you just kind of sitting around listening to Coldplay one day and think, or Lady A or whatever, and kind of think, oh, do you know, I want to sing and do things? Or tell us about it.
Yeah, man. Great question. I mean, so like I started music pretty young, actually. I finished my GCSEs and I decided that I wanted to basically write an album. That was the first thing that I ever did before I even did this sort of thing as like Danny McMahon. I basically sat down and I wrote I've discovered how to write songs, and I just wrote an album and I took it into a studio with 3 guys that I just used to jam with at lunchtime at school. Pretty much sort of within about 6 months we got a development deal with a major record label.
Cool.
With like a rock band it was at the time.
Can I just ask before you carry on, like when you said you was writing music, could you play instruments at that time, or was you just like?
Yeah, I could. So I started really young. With that, even younger. I was 11, and I started on piano and flute, and soon realised obviously that the flute was not the way to go because the girls were not interested in anything.
Maybe not for rock or anything.
No. No. My dad was in like a sort of this 80s sort of a prog rock band, and that was part of it, so it was just lying around the house, and I thought, I'll get started on that, give that a go, why not? But then I realised, the flute's not very sexy, so moved on to the guitar sort of about 4 or 5 years after that, and discovered I could write songs on piano and guitar. And sort of just learned it that way, and sort of just did it by ear, worked out a few chord progressions I liked, and so sort of
so no lessons or nothing, just started writing music.
Not songwriting or anything like that. I mean, I was playing sort of. I used to play flute in the school orchestra, as you do.
I was a recorder boy, mate, so I'm not even up to your level of talent. No.
I love the recorder. That was always interesting. Cool.
And it's never been needed when you're older than 7 years old. I don't know any major, recorder artists, recorder symphonies. Do you know what I mean? No one uses it. It's tragic, actually.
I know, mate. It's when they all do it together at school, isn't it? When everyone just like plays it in unison together.
Yeah, and London's burning, so someone starts in like 5 seconds time. That's rad, man.
And everyone's just a little bit out of tune with the person next to them. Like, yeah.
Sorry, carry on. So you was writing piano and guitar.
Yeah, man. I just sort of like had it that way, and I was just sort of like, okay, this is cool. This is something that like seems to come quite natural. Something that I enjoy doing, and then my path was actually always weirdly professional football. That's what I actually had a pro junior contract, and I got a really bad injury. Obviously you can't do any. I'm told basically I can't do any more contact sport. So
really forever.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Oh, okay, that's a bit of a kick in the rubber part.
Yeah, it was mad. But I found something that I truly loved and was truly passionate about, and just took it head on, basically.
Yeah, wow, man. And so that kind of, I guess, when you had, I won't say no other options, but when your passions were a bit more limited, that's when you started putting all into your music, right?
Yeah, man, absolutely. That was my way of dealing with not having the football in my life anymore. It was originally it was just more sort of writing songs as a way of like being a moody teenager, basically.
Yeah.
But then
I think I'm just starting to go through that now, actually.
Yeah.
I think it's called menopause, mate. I'm regressing, like
menopause. I love that.
So you've done this kind of like this rock demo with your mates at school?
Yeah.
It's by a major label. what happened from there to your first EP, which is What It's Like, right, as a solo artist?
Yeah, man. Like so much. So obviously, I had that journey with those guys. We were literally at the point where, we had our development deal. We were at the point where we thought we were going to move on to the next thing. Basically, like it all sort of fell apart very quickly, as these things can do in this industry. And it was a good lesson for me, actually, that to experience that young. I grew up quite quickly, in terms of what I knew about the industry and how it worked. And then I thought, you know what? Actually, if I'm going to do it, let's not rely on other people. Let's be as self-sufficient as possible. And I went and did a degree in it.
Good man.
And I met my now business partner and producer. So we basically run a commercial studio together in Bristol called Puzzle Maker Studios.
Okay.
And we've become one of the very first sort of country music specific recording studios in the UK, which is really exciting, really cool. And then so we started on that train. Basically, I started writing country music for other people to begin with, sort of retired myself as an artist.
Okay.
22.
To be fair, mate, let's be honest.
Yeah, I know, right? And then I was just like, oh yeah, no, I don't want to do this. I just want to write. I just want to produce, and I do still do that now, and I absolutely love it. It's a massive part of my role in what I do with artists that I work with. But just sort of started creeping in with these country pop songs, and I was like, these are about me. These are about my life. I don't really want to be like it didn't feel right to be giving these away to other people. And this first time I'd felt like that writing this country music. So I thought, all right, you know what, sod it, man. Let's just write a record, see how we feel about it once we've done it, put one song out, basically, which What It's Like, which is the debut single, and within 3 months had a call from a guy called Barry Coffin, who's a big player in the US music scene, inviting us to go over to San Diego and play a festival out there, which was mad. So I thought, okay, cool. So sort of 6 months prior, I was like, do I release a song? And obviously, and then 6 months later, we're Penn Festivals in America, which was mad. Man. Yeah, it's cool. It was cool. It was a really like organic journey. It was like before that, obviously, my experience of it was labels telling me what to do and what to think and how to behave. And
I've completely been there.
Yeah, and it was really nice to have this sort of like really sort of like organic journey that sort of like just blossomed into something that I genuinely loved and genuinely passionate about, and was getting to do it all over the world from dot, which was great. It was really cool.
So where did that take you to? Obviously the States. Did you go anywhere else?
Yeah, we've been we've done the States, we've done Germany, we've done Sweden, obviously done UK tours, we've done Italy, Lithuania.
Wow.
Yeah, some cool places.
Nice.
Really, yeah.
Not bad, seeing the world and doing what you love at the same time. And I take it this isn't with the original guys that you've done the rock band with, or it is?
Yeah, no. Gosh, they've all got babies and stuff now. So they're doing other things, which is amazing for them, and they're living their life the way that they're loving, basically. So about all these, basically everything has stemmed from my current business partner Drea, who I met at uni. And as I say, we've just sort of grown everything together. So we're sort of like he's the sort of like the invisible part of the duo that nobody really sees. He's very much responsible for how it sounds, and what comes out. Everything that you hear that I've ever done has all been recorded and produced by him. So he's definitely an unsung hero in the project for sure.
Oh, amazing, man. So I mean, actually, when I lived in the Southwest for 10 years, so I started off in kind of towards Nailsea way, then kind of moved down more into Somerset, then ended up in kind of like Barnstable, Westwood Ho kind of way. So amazing part of the world, and actually quite a great little music scene going on in the Southwest, and actually quite a bit of bluegrass and country and folk and stuff like that. Did you get into country because parents or friends were listening to it, or was you brought up on Led Zeppelin and all of a sudden fell in love with Dolly Parton? I mean, like, because for me, like, I was into the music that my parents were into, so that's how my taste developed. So were your parents great country fans, or is it just something? How did you get involved in country?
Yeah, so my dad had a really interesting taste in music. It was sort of like a blend of like he loved like the heavy rock stuff, like your Sabbath, your AC/DC, all that kind of stuff. And that's how I learned to play, was from a lot of that stuff that he showed me. A lot of like American stuff. And I think that's where I like sort of like Boston and Kansas and bands like that,
Okay.
which is still very guitar-y. But then obviously like he's really big into the Eagles, Glenn Campbell, people like that. So there was like this fusion of like the sort of like the melodic guitar stuff in with the country stuff, and I think that's very much where my taste sort of
Transition happened.
aligned
Wow.
themselves in the end. Yeah.
But was that your go-to music when you wanted to chill at home and relax? Would you just like, if it was putting music on, was it country style, or was it something else? Or
So varied, man. Like
really?
literally, like I remember. I mean, the first record that I ever went and bought was probably like it was probably a Red Hot Chili Peppers record. Like
Okay.
that was like because at the time, that was very sort of again very guitar-y. Then I got into Foo Fighters and Kings of Leon and all the guitar bands and all that kind of stuff. And it wasn't until sort of a hit like 1920, and then as I talk about Dre, my producer, when we met at uni, he showed me Brad Paisley, and I was like, oh my goodness, like who is this? Like this is amazing. Like obviously he's massive over in the States, and it's sort of like this amazing songwriting combined with this like incredible lead guitar, and I was like, this is like everything I've been missing in my life. Like, this is literally it. It's like that amazing storytelling. It would like for me, like when I sat down and tried to do it, like it was challenging me as a songwriter and as a guitarist, like to levels that I hadn't sort of felt like I would sort of. I guess you keep listening to the same stuff and you go down similar genres, but for this was felt very new, very different, very fresh. For me, it wasn't something I'd been sort of surrounded by. It was like a sort of like a level on, I guess.
And that was the click. That was the thing that thought, right, this is what I'm doing now.
Yeah, man, absolutely. Basically, what happened was it was at uni we were asked to basically it was a module called it was a songwriter module. Basically, you had to record an EP yourself in a genre you didn't usually play.
Okay.
And so I've been listening to all this country stuff, and I was like, all right, let's give this a crack, just for a laugh, I just started doing it, and then I played it to a few people. I just thought, this is something I did for my finals and whatever else. I was like, this is better than the other stuff you're doing, mate. Like, you should be doing this, like, not that. So, which is really cool. It was really cool. It was a really, like, as I say, sort of just natural progression to doing something I loved and was having a laugh with, but actually became a thing. Yeah.
So obviously, like, your brand is singing this kind of genre of music, but do you chuck in anything a bit more kind of rocky or a bit more poppy into your set, or is it just pure?
Yeah, man. I mean, for me, like even the sound itself, like you've got stuff that's like, songs like "When I See You," which is sort of like that more sort of like acoustic country thing. But then you've got songs like "Senses," which is sort of like that first riff off the bat in that song is very much sort of like almost sort of a bit sort of like math rock influence. You know what I mean? It's sort of like I just kind of like. I mean, even my latest EP, like there's 6 tracks on it. They're all like so different. Some the opening tracks sort of like Parachute, it's almost like a country rock track. We've got like big Les Pauls on it, like it's a really fat sound, where there is obviously like Senses, the song in itself is like a lot more funky, and then you've got These Hands, which is like a classic country piano ballad. So it's sort of like that's what I love about it, is that the umbrella of country music now is so much broader than a lot of people probably think it is.
All genres really.
No. Yeah, man. Yeah. It just fluctuates, anywhere, and it's nice to be able to do that, to just sit, anywhere between that pop and country side of it, and just sort of like float between all of it, because that way I get to do, all styles of songs that I love. Which is
How did the whole because you had Momentarily in 18, you had Boys Cry 2 in 19, and that's kind of just getting into COVID. What happened for you with the whole kind of the COVID situation? Did that? I've just done all this work and now it's like.
Yeah, man, that's such a great question, and it did, because like any independent artist ever will tell you that, like, it's all about momentum, it's all about trajectory, and like over that period of time, like that 2018-19, like we'd created so much momentum. Like we played festivals like all over the world, all over Europe. Like we'd won like 4 awards in the space of like 11 months. I think it was the point where it was like it was the end of September 2019, and we played like a massive festival at the Blackpool Winter Gardens, which is the very first British country music festival. And then the following night, we won 3 awards at the UK Country Music Awards, and one of them being UK Country Artist of the Year, which was like obviously like a massive accolade to win at the time. And then we went straight off to Nashville, literally like a couple of days later. So we were like on this massive like upward spiral, and then I think it was we were playing shows. It was February 2020. We were in Germany. And then we went straight to the States to play a festival out in Philadelphia, and followed by New York. And that was we were literally in. It was almost like the start of like some weird sci-fi film where we were literally in a bar in New York when COVID hit. Yeah, and it was just like it was all over the news, and obviously at the time you have no real like understanding of what was actually about to happen. But yeah, man, it was really hard because we were on such a roll, like so many things were happening, and then basically, you know, obviously when you haven't got the backing of a label that's going to keep pushing you with, you know, that level of financial backing behind you, you basically have to start again. You basically have to start again because you can't maintain that momentum without going out and playing everywhere, being everywhere, playing the festivals, you know. So like we basically were kind of in a way, not completely, but in some ways starting again. So that's basically what all this year was about, really. Because 2021, you obviously got to plan like 6 months for stuff in advance. So all of 2021 was just sort of just getting the gears back going. And this year has been incredible. Like we've done so much, been so many places. But this was the first year we were really back up and running again.
Because it was quite scary. It was something that was meant to last 3 weeks. All of a sudden, a year and a half later, and we still, hence I have a show doing this because I was like, oh, I can't sing anywhere. I don't meet people. I'm not talking to people. Do you know what I mean? It's like, right, I just have to knit that chit chat with like just loads of people now, and that's it.
Yeah, man.
You'll have to be entertaining because it's like, yeah, that was just a crazy, crazy period, man. And really so many people crumbled from it actually, which is quite interesting. Like I actually found it really shit, kind of physically and health wise, but on a kind of creative level, it made me think outside of what I was normally doing and maybe not even take my art for granted as much as I did before because we realized the fragility of it, right?
I absolutely agree with you. Like, you know, really getting into the nitty gritty of like, you know, as you say, like the art within it itself. Like for me, like I've never written as many songs as I did during that period of time. You know, as I say, you know, you're talking about like focusing your energy into particular things.
Was you doing like online gigs and stuff like that? Was you doing live performances?
Yeah, I did like quite a lot of that. For me, like playing shows, I just like there's like that buzz you get in the room when you just not the place. So
yeah, seeing your fish tank above your camera kind of it doesn't really.
Yeah, man, it's sort of like it was one of those moments where I was like, everyone was like writing on the screen, "This is awesome, love it," and then you just like you put your screen down at the end, and it's just like you're in an empty room. Yeah. It's kind of like, do you know what I mean? It was just like,
but at least you haven't got to drive home.
Yeah,
in crappy weather.
Mate, that's true.
Already feet up, Netflix on, cup of cocoa in 4.5 minutes of leaving your gig. That's not bad.
That is true. Yeah, no lifting gear. That's all the positives for sure.
Yeah, so, what's the future hold? What are your plans? What are you doing now? And what are your plans for the future? Where do you see this whole amazing project going? Or what are you hoping?
Yeah, man. So, I mean, we've literally just got back from just over 2 weeks in Nashville with the band. So I played 5 shows out there, which was amazing. Like, it manifested like so much energy in trying to get like shows at these particular venues over there that I've been to before and just like loved them. They were like dream venues. So we did the Listening Room and we did Whiskey Jam, which are 2 like massive nights over in Nashville. We got to get on the bill for both of those, which is amazing. So it's just like, you know, we say pushing on top of that momentum really. So we've got it back up kicking again now, sort of like, you know, in all the pockets that we want to. I think next year is going to be a lot of playing the festival circuit around Europe. I think is a lot of what's looking like it's going to happen. November we've got a show supporting Christy Huff she's over from LA on her UK tour, and then we've got a hometown show in Bristol in November as well. So we've got 2 big shows in November. So we're going to try and see the year out with a big bang, and then
amazing,
ramp it up for next year. So looking to smash those festivals and put out a ton more music as we always do.
Wow, amazing, man! This is superb. What's been the highlight of your journey of your career so far?
Great question. I mean, that awards night was really special. Like, you know,
was it expected? Did you hear like rumblings that you'd been on? Was it completely out of the blue?
I mean, like, my band was sort of like, oh, you know, they've asked you to play last. Like, you know, they were sort of like, you know, so we arrived and they were like treating us like royalty and whatever else. And like, you know, the boys were sort of like, you know, so I think this is your night, man. This is your night, and I'm just like, you know, whatever. Just like, let's just enjoy it. We're here, like, grateful to be nominated, you know, because, you know, if you don't expect anything, you can never just be disappointed. Absolutely. So we just went in it with that mindset, and it was literally just I mean, you know, obviously if you get one, you're over the moon, but to get 3 and then sort of like to just be named, you know, artist of the year, and then come out and get to play a set straight off the back of that was that was a massive highlight. Man. And for me, just like getting to go to places that like I never even knew existed before this thing, you know, like, you know, I mean, going out to, you know, Lithuania and playing a show to 2,500 people was just mental. Like, I didn't even know that was a thing. So yeah, going to play the festival over there was like insane. And obviously, like, I've fallen in love completely with Nashville. It's just such an incredible place. Like, you know, obviously,
I was going to ask you actually. So now you've had that flavour of the US of A. Is that somewhere that you kind of in your sights you see yourself spending a little bit more time there, or it's nice to dip in and get out and dip in and get out?
I think the more we do it, the more inevitably we're going to end up spending time over there. You know, I mean, like I did 2 and a bit weeks over there just now, and then we did basically 3 weeks on the West Coast in June. But like I could have stayed another 2 months doing the other stuff that other people want. Whilst I was there, do you know what I mean? Like, you know, rights. I mean, Nashville is such a sociable place. I know we're in like a sociable industry anyway, but like Nashville is just like, it's so community driven. Like I can't even begin to express.
Yeah, and I've had a few artists already on the show that are from Nashville, and they've just been like, "This is the place, man."
Yeah, it is incredible.
You know, everyone knows someone that's in music and is influential to their career, or you know, inspiring to their. You know, so that sounds like amazing, man.
Yeah.
So today, finishing off this year wonderfully. Next year, more time in the States, more music, more festivals. Mate, that's fantastic. Danny, thank you so much for coming on my show. It's been a bloody pleasure talking to you. I hope that when like your next EP, your next album is released, you'll come back and tell us all about it.
Of course.
And that would be great. We're going to leave the show with Forget About That?
Forget About That, you got it.
The lyric video, so we can all kind of start practicing for future karaoke nights. That's going to be amazing. If you had to go to karaoke, I'm not suggesting that one does, but if you do, what would be your song of choice on karaoke?
Do you know what? I've done it in cover sets before, and it's always like a little quirk where I've practiced it very hard over the years, so I can just about get the notes. Is doing.
Who the fuck is Alice?
Whitney Houston. Yeah, I want to dance with somebody. Whitney Houston.
Really good man.
Yeah, that is the one.
I sing that in all my sets actually.
Ah, there you go.
I do. Yeah, I'm a classical crossover artist. So it's been really nice moving to Mexico. You know, I only had 30 tracks with me of, you know, songs that I would sing in, you know, restaurants and stuff, doing Italian nights. A lot of it was in Italian and Spanish. And then halfway through, like Nessun Dorma by, you know, obviously by Mr. Pavarotti. And someone goes, "Do you know any Whitney?" I'm like, "I'm just about to go Vincero, and you're asking me, like, oh, I dance with somebody." I'm like, okay. So now I'm the British boy of ballads, and I sing "What the Hell." So I've gone from 30 to like something like 536 different songs I sing now in my sets. Not in one set, obviously. That's like a 5-hour show. But no, in my course of the week now, I sing probably nearly 600 different songs. All genres, from reggae to rock to, you know, I can't even think, you know, just like it's amazing. Yeah, but I Want to Dance with Somebody. Is that on an EP?
Well, I Want to Dance with Somebody. Yeah. It should be, shouldn't it?
I think it should be, or at least a YouTube video, dude.
We need to work on that. There you go.
Maybe you could do it as a duet.
That'd be fun,
mate. Let's do it. Okay, we can plan that. We can do a little bit of virtual long distance recording.
Love it.
Sorted. Okay, that's going to be your highlight of 23, man.
Of course it is.
To be honest, I can't wait. I'm already quite excited. Danny, thank you so much for being on the Jaden Show. It's wonderful to meet you, and I'm loving your music. So please keep me informed of anything you're doing. And people at home, go and show this brother some love. Go and support him. Go and follow him on all of his social media platforms, and you can get all of his music on major streaming and download platforms too. So I'm so excited. Even my cat has come to join me now. Look,
there he is. Look at that.
There he is. There's Bomba. So yeah, even he's come to join. It's like, I like that voice. He knows your music. So that's cool. Danny, thank you so much.
Thank you, dude.
Give my love to Bristol, and we'll catch up soon.
Will do. Cheers, mate.
Take care, my friend. Bye-bye. What a super special guy, how bloody talented. It was really, really great to meet him, and I hope we hear some amazing news from his stable very soon. And don't forget that you can follow him on all of his social media platforms, and he's also on Spotify, Apple Music, all the major music download and streaming platforms as well. So go and show a brother some love, and if he's actually gigging where you are, then please go and see him, because his shows are amazing. Thank you so much, Danny, for being part of my show. Thank you, all of you, for watching. I hope you have a wonderful next week. I'm already excited to see you again next Sunday with another super wonderful guest, but I'm going to leave you with a bit more music from Danny. This is a lyric video, so as we said, you can start practicing for your karaoke future now. This song is called Forget About That. This is Danny McMahon. Happy Sunday, guys. See you next week. Stay beautiful.
You and me, 17 on a West Coast beach. Nothing to do, nothing to be for anybody. But 22 came around and you stayed out late. You didn't call, started your fall. I'm failing to mistake heartbreak. We had all we wanted, but life came along and we lost it. You and him and your summer night flame, thrown away for a one-time thing. There's so much to say about what you did, but the sun's so hot I might let it slip in. My hometown, hold our memory back. I heard a rumor spinning around, I might take you back, but I shouldn't even think about it. Did all you to forget about it? You had another man, a can of cold, can of white sand. Make me forget about that. Make me forget about that. Gonna fall settle in this ring of fire and I'm gonna get burned. But here we are, stuck at the bar. I should have stopped at a lesson learned. We had all we wanted, but life came along and we lost it. You and him and your summer night flame, thrown away for a one-time thing. There's so much to say about what you did, but the sun's so hot I might let it slip in. My hometown, hold our memory back. I heard a rumor spinning around, I might take you back, but I shouldn't even think about it. Did all you to forget about it? You had another man, a can of cold, can of white sand. Make me forget about that. We had all we wanted. Life came along and we lost it. There's so much to say about what you did, but the sun's so hot I might let it slip in. My hometown, hold our memory back. I heard a rumor spinning around, I might take you back, but I shouldn't even think about it. Did all you to forget about it? You had another man, a can of cold,